Leftovers at midnight, 29. It's been about a month. We have good reason for that, I swear. We finally start getting traction and we're like, yeah, fuck it. We're just going to stop filming the podcast
Right.
now.
Yeah. Seriously.
No, we have good reason. And if we want to talk about it, we can. If not, fuck you. Use your imagination.
Well,
how has everybody been? We'll start with whoever the fuck wants to go first. I want to go last.
Alex?
Thomas.
All right, I'll go. I'll go.
No. So, you guys have to rock, paper, scissors it out.
Okay. All right. 2 out of 3?
On 3. Okay. 1.
Wait. No, best 2 out of 3 on shoot.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors,
shoot. Boom.
All right. Okay. So I am going to be moving soon, and there's been a lot surrounding that I've been having to try and figure out. The rental market right now, in case you were unaware, is 110% fucked. Especially where I live, people are moving here in droves from up north, from New York, from Michigan, from everywhere you can think of, and buying all the houses that are available to flip them or to live in them as vacation homes for the winter when it gets too cold to stay up north. And what that means is that, for one, a lot of people are selling the houses that they normally would rent because the market is super high right now. Or two, people are able to charge ridiculous amounts of rent for little tiny places because there's a scarcity in rental availability. So I have at this moment, as of the day we're recording this, which is the 21st, I have 3 weeks to be out of the place that I'm in. And then we are at the moment homeless. We haven't gotten a new place just yet. We're still working it out. We'll be okay. Everything's fine. Everything's
It'll work
fine.
out.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Damn, sounds like you need a new house and Alex needs a 3090. We all got a lot of shit we got to get.
Oh, out the gate. Oh, that was a quick
Yikes.
one. That was quick.
Well, maybe I'll be able to afford one soon with a new raise coming up.
Huge.
Hell yeah.
But that's one thing out of the way for how my month has been.
Yeah, man, that's rad.
But I think biggest news out of all that is I'm engaged now.
Oh yes. How's life with your ex-girlfriend?
Clap.
Oh, damn it. Good. I told Robbie I was going to let him make that joke. That's a Robbie joke. He made that joke to me when I proposed, and I need to own the fact that I didn't come up with it and that it's not at all my original content.
It's okay. Fine. I already used it with her.
I didn't come up with it either. I heard it on PKA. So, fuck
it. Yeah, I've already used that joke, so.
But that's awesome, dude.
So pissed.
She was so mad.
Like, what? And then she's like,
I messaged her and said, congrats on your ex-boyfriend.
Oh, man.
That's
my big news.
How about you, Robbie?
All right. Well, I wanted to go last because I had a bunch of shit. Cool, you got engaged and all, but my life has arguably been far more interesting than yours, peasant. The last month or so.
He just called you a peasant. You gonna let him get away with that?
And what's he gonna do?
Buy a 3090?
Maybe. In the last month, Florida was attacked by Hurricane Elsa, which in reality was barely even a Category 1. But because of where I live, it flooded my house a little bit. So I spent 2 days getting water out of my fucking house. And I've been cleaning mold and shit. If I were to pan the camera up, you'd see a spot of mold over there. It's fucking sick. I've sprayed that bitch. It's dying. But yeah, we had water in the house. And on the day that Elsa happened, or I guess the morning after, I decided, hey, I'll go get everybody some food. So I said, what do you guys want for lunch? Because it was about 11:30, 12 o'clock. And I'm like, how about sandwiches? Okay, sure. We'll go to Subway. So we order from my computer. It's me, my mom, my dad. I decide I'll take my fucking car that I'm paying for, up to Subway, which is a minute down the road, and come back. As I'm coming down my road, I look to my right and see about 4 inches of fucking water in my car. All my windows were rolled up throughout the whole entire storm. None of my drain clog seal leaks, whatever the fuck, what are they called? Like
Drain plugs?
Drain plugs, yeah. None of them were faulty. None of my seals were faulty. Had an adjuster come out and look at it. So he said, we only cover up to like X amount or something. Either way, I had to pay for all the repairs to be done to my car. So I was like, okay, fuck it. I'll go on down to the dealership the next day. On the next day, I went to a beer making class with my dad, and then I went to the dealership. I get to the dealership. I say, hey, I have an appointment set for Tuesday, but I need to leave my car off here because the smell is horrendous from all the mold. Or not mold, mildew. So I say, all right, cool. It's like, I also need a rental. I talked to the insurance about it. I have a rental reserved. So I go up to Enterprise. Apparently, on fucking Saturday in Florida, Enterprise closes at fucking 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yup.
Who would have fucking thought? I said, well, I have a rental reserved. It's 12:30. Can you help me out, please? My car is going to be sitting here for days, and I need to get to and from work. I have people I want to go see. I have food I want to go buy, and I can't do that without a fucking car. It's like, nope, sorry, can't help you at all. Okay, fine. So I go back to the parts department and said, I need my car key back. The guy was a fucking dick. I'm not going to call out the dealership, even though I want to, but I'm not going to do that. So I was a dick back to him. So I go to leave the parking lot, and I said, you know what? Fuck it. I just want to look at the cars, make myself feel better. Maybe I'll get to test drive a Mach-E or something like that. So this badass salesman immediately greets me because you know how like at car dealerships are like fucking sharks that like to a prey. Yeah. You know, they all want to go for you. They all want you. Dude walks up to me. I'm like, bro, my fucking car is full of mildew and water, and I detail cars and can't get all the fucking water out of it. Please help me out. I need a rental, blah, 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 blah. Gave him the whole spiel. Well, fast forward 6 hours later, I bought a new Mustang, and I am now paying well over 40 grand for a car that I am more than happy with, and my payments have doubled. So I am a broke boy for a couple years till I refinance.
Golly, man.
So thank you, Elsa, for finally letting me upgrade to a better car, even though those payments are a kick in the dick. That's been my month. That all happened within a few days for me. Fucking great. I love it here.
So what is, you got the EcoBoost, right?
Yeah, 2018 Ford Mustang EcoBoost.
So it's a 4-cylinder?
Yee.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gotten to drive one of those yet.
You can drive my car. I don't give a fuck.
If you can drive stick, you can drive my car. It's an EcoBoost.
I would love to drive both of your cars because my car's not fast. I drive a Ford Fusion, and it's also technically also EcoBoost. But it is
the EcoBoost gang now.
It is super slow. It is it's like that low end luxury, you know, it's got leather seats and it's got a Bluetooth stereo and like a seat warmer, but it's like luxury from 7 years ago. So like my Bluetooth stereo doesn't always connect to my phone, and the app that was designed to run with it is no longer
developed,
supported. Like it doesn't even run on the new iOS anymore. So that's a huge pain in the ass. I would love to, in all honesty, I've been so tempted in the last, in the last year or so to trade my my Fusion in and just like get it paid off and get just like a shit box. As long as it has a Bluetooth stereo in it and good AC, like I really am not that worried about it. I either some kind of shit box that's really good on gas, or like a truck, something with utility, like especially now that the move is coming through. I am willfully ignoring Robbie's camera right now.
As am
I wish
I.
I could do that, bro.
You're so small.
I'm so triggered right now. I'm having so many problems. What is going on?
Oh my god, dude. Why are you so small?
You know, Tommy, with a little bit of electrical know-how, any car can have Bluetooth.
Oh yeah. My 94 Civic had Bluetooth. He zooms in to give us the it's like we're looking at you through a tunnel.
Yeah, it's basically what it is.
What happened?
It might be my dummy battery in my camera.
Okay.
And we
Anyway,
lost him again.
I know a good car salesman if you need one.
Right on.
Yeah?
Yee. Fuck.
Tommy, I gotta come over and give you a ride one day.
I'll give
As long
you
as
a
you're
ride.
okay with going fast.
Yeah, I mean, at one point probably I'll have to come to you because in 3 weeks I won't live here anymore.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I do hope you find a place.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get it figured out, you know, but it's definitely been massively stressful. Like the places that I'm looking at, we are in a we got another third party camera app from Robbie. The places that we're looking at that are, you know, within our budget are so small that it would not even be worth it. Like, hey, there he is. It's like $1,100 a month for like, or 1,100 to 1,200 on average for like a 750 square foot like one bedroom apartment right now.
Yeah.
And especially considering we have the animals that we do, like we're probably going to have to sneak at least one or two of them in. Just because of the outrageous pet fees that they charge at apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I saw one that listed a cat fee and a dog fee and a reptile fee and a rodent fee and a fish fee. And they were $200 each. You also had to pay $20 per month per pet on top of that deposit that you for a fish. Like, I understand deposits for cats and dogs. I have lived in places where my cats and dogs have messed stuff up. Like, I get that. But a fish?
Think about it like this.
Right?
What if your fish shits on the carpet?
Oh man, what a nightmare.
What if your fish scratches up the walls?
Or you know.
What if your neighbor 3 doors away can't sleep because your fucking koi is making too much noise?
I mean, that happens to me sometimes, so that's
And
fully
if you
understandable.
If you
But
keep
geez,
in a fish tank, then something's fucking wrong with you.
so yeah, so that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. On top of the fact that pretty much everywhere that we're looking to try and rent is, they require first month's rent, last month's rent, and a security deposit that is at least one full month's rent, possibly more depending on your credit check. So we're looking at like, you know, $4,000, $5,000 with pet fees and application fees and all of that just to move into a 750, 800 square foot little tiny apartment that are not even nice, you know. It's like there's a one of the ladies I talked to when I was looking around for places. I called a lady about a place, and the place was renting for $850, and it was in a perfect location. I was super excited about it, but it didn't list the square footage. And I was like, "Yeah, $850 a month. That's an awesome rate." That place was 200 square feet. $850 for 200 square feet. And I talked to this lady. And she very casually dropped the fact that she couldn't answer my phone call the day before because her mother had passed. I was like, dang, yeah, don't answer the phone. But she's like, yeah, there are thousands of people in America right now in the exact same situation that me and Hannah are in, where we don't really have anywhere that we could go with all of our animals. And we are all of a sudden having to come up with several $1,000s to move into an apartment that is completely overpriced. Like, if I could come up with $4,000 or $5,000 right now, I would rather just put that down on a house with like an FHA loan, like buy a house, you know, because then at least you have like equity, you know. And I mean, right now the market for houses is ridiculous, and it would be stupid to buy a house here right now because you'd almost certainly lose money on it. But the mortgage payments would be unbelievably cheaper compared to paying, you know, upwards of $1,100 a month in rent. and I could paint the walls whatever color I want. You know?
Yeah.
Paint them all hot pink. Just
Yeah.
to do it.
I mean, if I wanted to,
you
I
could.
totally
You
could.
should. Fuck it. Do it right now.
So, episode title, episode 29, Florida's fucked up housing market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We both had some problems with our houses. Tommy a little bit more urgent than mine, but
well, I don't know about that. I don't know if mine was more urgent. Mine is
No.
more time pressing, but your
Urgent.
house is damaged and in disrepair and needs assistance.
I could take a shop vac, which, by the way, I spent almost, I think, 5 hours shop vacuuming water out of my kitchen. Just like my kitchen is fucking 20 feet away from me. Kitchen through here to a door right there. Kitchen through here to a door right there. Probably like 15, 20 times. And then I decided this isn't working. Let's put a fucking sump pump in my kitchen. If you don't know what that does, sucks the water up, goes through a hose, out the end of the hose. So I was pumping water out of my fucking kitchen. You know what the best part about it was? Can either of you guess?
Let me guess. The output was the kitchen.
No. You're muted, Tommy.
I think I know.
You probably do. It was all shit water that I was taking out of the kitchen.
Yep.
Because our septic tank fucking flooded because there's a pump in there that once it gets too full, it pumps out all the water like a fucking pump should. And the fucking outlet it was plugged into quit working.
Because it flooded?
Because it flooded. So, yeah. I'm taking shit water out of my house. So I took a nice long shower that day.
You don't have carpet in there, do you?
Nope.
Oh, that's good at least.
Yep.
That's good at least.
I'm not changing that. Tell you that right now. Even if I did, fucking sit there. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, just rip it out and leave it concrete at that point.
Yeah, because that'd be easier.
Because, I mean, this is not the first time since I've known you that your house has flooded, like, to the point where you needed a couple of days to get it back to working order.
Hurricane
like with Irma,
yeah.
That was brutal. I remember
I had water up to my knees in my backyard.
Absolute insanity, dude.
I still have pictures, and you know what? I'm going to pull up a fucking picture because I need to show, like, the intensity of where. Oh, by the way, there was a fucking alligator in my pool right after all this happened too, the same day. So I'm just like,
that's just standard Florida, bro. That could have happened at any point.
Didn't the alligator just fucking die?
No. My neighbor caught it and released it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's about time to get you South Florida gator nuggets.
Right. No, we were like, this gator would taste pretty good, but it was small, so we decided it's not worth it to find someone to come out and kill the alligator for us. That's from Irma.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's grody.
It is grody.
Oh, it fucking sucked dick, tell you that.
Just, of course, we don't even fear hurricanes of that category. And
I know, right? Like, I don't even put pants on until it's a category 3, you know?
Right? Like, I mean, if it's a category 1 to 3, I'm getting fucked up. I'm going to drink a lot. If it's a category 4 or 5, I'm boarding the windows and then getting fucked up.
My mom is like terrified of hurricanes, dude. Like, my mom is terrified. She will, at most of the time, at the slightest provocation, will just evacuate. And I mean, I understand they live on a retention pond. So like, if it floods super, super bad in that retention pond, they live on a lake, like up to the door.
Oh, fuck. I know what that's like, living on a lake with an in-ground pool. Well, what else you guys got?
Well, Jeff Bezos visited space in a penis this week.
Yeah.
Rock rocket, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard this joke 100 times already from
Blue
one
Ball's
particular
origin.
person about how a virgin entered space and then 2 weeks later, a billionaire chased it into space with a dick-shaped rocket. He knew. He had to know.
What is this, the billionaire space race now?
I mean,
fucking Soviet Russia beat the billionaires. That tells you anything about capitalism.
I mean, I think it just got down to a point where it was like, well, we're not like, and this may come from a place of complete ignorance, but what is NASA doing as far as putting people in space right now, aside from the things that they've been doing, and again, that could totally come from a place of ignorance, but you don't hear much in the news, at least, regarding America's journey into space outside of stuff like, the Virgin craft that was an interesting video where they went into orbit, released another craft, and then that craft went down back into orbit or back into atmosphere and out of atmosphere again. That was like a super cool video if you haven't seen it.
Oh, they used to do that with what is it, the X1, I think? I think it was the X1 plane back in like the 70s, 60s, 70s.
Did Jeff Bezos confirm whether or not the Earth is round?
The Earth is flat.
Yeah.
Well, like that guy, when that guy did the Red Bull jump, you remember that back in like 2012?
Yeah.
People said that they talked to him and he said that he couldn't see the curve of the Earth.
I feel like that's BS.
I thought he was cool, man.
He may have been, I might be misremembering that, but I'm pretty sure that people have used his testimony and arguments to convince people that the Earth is flat.
Did you ever see that one Netflix documentary about flat earthers, and they were like doing all these experiments and kept proving themselves wrong?
No, I didn't, but I would love to. That sounds immensely satisfying.
It's so satisfying. They're like doing this thing where they have like two fences with holes in them at the same height. And, one guy has a camera through the hole here, and then someone is behind it. And they had him measure it at the same height. And if he could see the light, then the Earth was flat. But if he held it up higher and then could see the light, that meant the Earth was round because of the curvature it was going
right,
down.
Yeah. I mean, that's a simple experiment in nature.
Oh, yeah. And he's just like, well, we must have done something wrong when it was exactly the height they said it would be if the Earth was round. It's fucking phenomenal. Just
you gotta love it, because like all the logic that they use to prove that the Earth is flat, most of the time when I've heard people who are well read on the theory of flat Earth, their logic is so circular. It's that in and of itself is ironic.
Hey man, there's flat earthers all around the world.
True.
And that's the episode, folks. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay, we gotta go by.
So Jeff Bezos entered space, which, I mean, really, if you're really genuinely looking at it, Jeff Bezos returned to space because he is, in fact, an alien, a reptilian alien in human skin. But
I thought they came from the core of the Earth.
Well, it depends on what theory you subscribe to. A lot of people think that they live inside the moon.
Well, there's definitely Nazis on the dark side of the moon.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's like
sure.
That's like common knowledge. Yeah. Where else are the Nazis going to be?
Not Germany.
In police uniforms?
Whoops.
Sorry.
You know what they say? Some of those that burn crosses are the same that work forces. Just saying.
How many Thin Blue Line guys do you think are fans of Rage Against the Machine?
Probably all of them.
Ted Cruz.
I found out what the red line on the flag is for.
Isn't it firefighters?
Fireman department, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't understand that, only because everyone likes the fire department.
Yeah, when do you ever see protests?
A fireman shot me, man. Like, no one ever. You don't have that.
Yeah, like firemen, especially even in comparison with like EMTs, because you've heard stories of people who have sued EMTs for like, saving their lives. Yeah. But firemen, like their whole job is to put out fires, and that is universally recognized as a good thing. Something's on fire, probably shouldn't be. Let's put that out. And
yeah,
I could never say that I had lost respect for a firefighter at some point because of how their job works.
Nope, can't say that I have either.
Yeah, no. And nobody's out there protesting firefighters.
That's true.
Thank God, or else we'd all be fucking dead.
Oh man, this is getting real political again, huh?
Yeah, I didn't really mean to throw it that way. I meant to just kind of reference that as a joke for a bit. I'll tell you what's been really getting on my nerves lately is drive-thrus.
Why?
I've had some of the worst luck with drive-thrus in my life in the past 2 weeks. So I posted a status about it on Facebook, but listen to me right now. If you cannot respect the rules of a dual drive-thru at like McDonald's, don't go to the drive-thru. Like, I wish you a very cordial fuck you, because you know how it works. You get in line, you order your food, and then you enter the main line in whatever order your food was ordered. So if I finish ordering and pull up, and the guy on the other side is still ordering his food, I go in front of him. It's efficient. It makes sense. If you cut in front of somebody, you're not going to get your food faster because they weren't expecting you at the window, and all you do is waste everybody's time. Yet, on multiple occasions in the last 2 weeks, someone has like sped up dangerously to beat me in the line in a drive-thru. And then on the flip side of that, I've had a couple of dipshits who are just not paying attention to the movement of the drive-thru line and will sit there with a full car length between them and the person in front of them, preventing the person behind them from being able to order their food because they're like halfway in front of the microphone. One particular instance was in a dual drive-thru, and the lady was putting on fucking mascara in the drive-thru, just like inching forward ever so often. And I was like, wouldn't it make more sense to just pull over and do your makeup, like instead of making everything that you do on your way to work take that much longer?
No, it wouldn't.
And she had a kid in the car with her, man.
Was the kid driving? Because she obviously doesn't know how.
No, she wasn't. I remember I was sitting waiting for her to pull forward because she was perpendicular to my car and I couldn't move because she was just blocking me and completely oblivious to what was going on.
Jeez.
Like, if there's one place that you should absolutely be paying attention to what you're doing while you're driving, it's when you are within 12 to 14 inches of another vehicle, right? That's my rant on drive-thrus. I have all but given up on the idea of drive-thrus. And then the slowest Taco Bell ever entered my life this week. Oh, I sat in that drive-thru line for easily 45 minutes before I got to the window to pay. And the line was like out the ass of this parking lot to the point that you could not leave the parking lot because of how many people were in line. Now, when I entered the line, it was not like that. But how exactly do you see a line at a fast food place, at a Taco Bell, no less, and think, I'm going to go there anyway?
Because they have to do their mascara.
I guess, man. It must be. I mean, I've seen like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts lines that long, or like Chick-fil-A has some of the longest drive-through lines I've ever seen.
But at least they're efficient.
They're fast, yeah. Like when you go to Starbucks, people aren't ordering for a family usually. So it's like...
It's just one order that could feed a family. I need a large venti caramel macchiato with 3 pumps of soy, cinnamon, squeeze some lemon juice on there, milk the cow for me, please. Like fucking dumb shit.
Yeah, I can't... I haven't gotten into the whole like craft coffee, like I can't tell you what my... Huh?
You know what I get from Starbucks?
Java Ship Frat?
Lemonade. or water.
I thought you didn't like lemonade.
No, I like lemonade.
It must have been somebody else that told me they didn't like lemonade recently. Yeah, I totally thought you had said before that you hated lemonade. I had a buddy who had like a horrifying experience with lemonade one time at the circus.
Oh, I remember this.
Did I tell this story on the show before?
No, you told me at work.
My buddy Isaac, when he was really little, he was probably 3 or 4. His dad told him they went to the circus. His dad said he could get whatever he wanted from the concession stand. And he got one of those gigantic gallon buckets of lemonade, like the size of a giant, like large popcorn container. And he was sitting there drinking his lemonade, and they're sitting in their chairs. And this lady is like crossing over in front of them to get to her spot and dumps the entire thing of lemonade on him, like a gallon of lemonade. And then that happened at the very beginning of the circus. And so he had to sit there through the entire show of the circus covered in lemonade. And ever since then, like, he can't stand the smell of lemonade. It makes him want to throw up.
That's unfortunate because lemonade fucking slaps.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when
it does. You know what else fucking slaps? Publix has these teas. They have a lemongrass and mint tea, and they have a blackberry and sage tea, and both of them are fucking incredible.
Well, yeah, and if for those of you that don't have a Publix where you are, you should probably move somewhere with the Publix.
See, I don't know, because the trade-off for having Publix is living in Florida, and the rest of the stuff that happens in Florida is not worth Publix to me.
There are Publixes. There's some, Publi. I don't know. There's a plural there.
I think it's Publixes. It's a proper noun.
There's some in like Georgia, I think, North Carolina, maybe South Carolina.
Okay, so you have one half decent state out of the 4 that have Publixes, and that would be North Carolina.
Let's see. Publix. Let's see what states you're in.
There's gonna be one in like Idaho.
Yeah. Kind of like how we had one Whataburger here in Florida.
Once for a little while.
Yeah.
I remember going to that Whataburger.
All right, let's see. Can I
that one that is, I don't want to dox us here, but the one that's south of us on that big main road?
The one near the mall by you, Tommy.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell your Publix story. I'm going to find out how many there are.
Publix story?
Well, you were talking about the sweet tea.
Oh, no, that was it. It was just that tea is fucking awesome. And if you get a chance to buy some, you should. It's expensive because it's like a half-gallon thing. And sometimes they're 2 for $4, which is when you really got the like. But I think it's like $3 for 1 half gallon of that stuff. But it's so good that we always end up just destroying the half gallon in like a day.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably, like, if I brought one to work with me as part of my lunch, I could kill that in one day just by myself drinking it at lunch.
No.
Man, I love me some Publix and chicken tender subs.
So we got Alabama with 81 Publixes.
Fuck Alabama.
Georgia with 192.
Georgia's okay sometimes.
North Carolina with 49.
Okay.
South Carolina with 64.
Okay.
Tennessee with 50.
Really? I didn't know that they were up in Tennessee yet.
Yeah. Virginia with 19. And then you have Florida with 817.
That's like, so I saw a sign recently, a billboard here in Florida for Kroger.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what? Like, where's there a Kroger? And I looked it up, and Kroger is the parent company, I believe, for Circle K. So Kroger has like a delivery system, a delivery service. And if you sign up for it, you can have Circle K delivered to your house.
Interesting.
That's not something I want delivered.
You don't want a Polar Pop delivered right to your door?
I don't drink enough soda, man. I just started drinking soda within the last year.
Getting Wawa delivered, on the other hand, though.
Dude, I'm sick. I'm sick of pretending that Wawa's quality has not deteriorated severely over the last several years.
It's garbage.
I loved Wawa when they first got to Florida.
Food.
I was like, damn, Wawa's the best. And as far as gas station food goes, Wawa does have the best gas station food.
It's a luxury.
Unless you go to a Pilot. Pilot's pretty rad. Weigel's up in Tennessee, and I think the surrounding area. Weigel's has pretty good milk. Believe it or not, they have the best milk I've ever had. But Wawa has significantly decreased in quality, like exponentially, over the last several years, and I'm sick of pretending like I didn't notice.
Man, you have such passionate views on Wawa.
Wawa should not sponsor us.
What I'm saying is Wawa should do better, and if they sponsored us, that would be a step in the right direction.
This is true. Even whenever you comment, fuck Tommy on Apple, Spotify, iTunes, podcasts, all that fun shit. I said on Apple. I meant on Apple Podcasts. Spotify, iTunes, Google, whatever the fuck you Android plebs use. Comment fuck Tommy on there, and also Wawa should sponsor us.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that. I completely lost my train of thought halfway through that sentence. Just kind of wanted to roll with it.
Man, I had a train of thought earlier when we were talking about Publix and stuff. I lost it. Completely forgot where I was going to go.
Well, take the train to your thoughts.
Choo choo.
So,
all aboard, fuckers.
I played Cards Against Humanity for the first time in a minute recently.
Dude, I want to play that game again.
It's so much fun, man. And I feel like in my life I've played it exactly enough times to where it hasn't gotten old yet, because I know people who are like, yeah, I just played it too many times, so it's not fun. And I still we have every expansion, I'm pretty sure, to date. And there are still cards in there that I have never seen before. There are cards in there that are from 3 or 4 expansions ago that I've never seen before. But what is that one Cards Against Humanity card for you that always wins? Everybody has one. As long as it's not too horribly offensive, what's the one card that always just gets you no matter what?
Gets me to pick it if I'm cards are, or just makes me laugh?
Either. I mean, there are some that are just so funny, but the practical side of my brain doesn't want to let them win just because it's too ridiculous. Most of the time, though,
Pac-Man jizzling or
uncontrollably guzzling cum. Yeah.
They're
most of the time, the ridiculous pick will win. Hannah has my Cards Against Humanity sense of humor down to a science. She can win it every single time. But for me, I think it's a tie between Pooping Back and Forth Forever and Yeast in all caps with an exclamation point.
Huh.
And then the ever present, there's one that will always win for me is Rush Limbaugh's Soft Shitty Body. That gets me every single time.
I know.
There's
you go, Alex.
Fuck, I forgot. Go ahead.
Okay, well then while you're thinking, you've played Cards Against Humanity with me before, Tommy.
Oh yeah.
You know what'll make me win. I don't want to say that because that's mean, but I will say my favorite card is Batman.
Also in all caps with exclamation points, yeah.
Because Batman can be used in any situation, and it's just funny because you immediately imagine this edgy Dark Knight with a cape, and it could just be him it could be a 2-part card, and the first one could be something about getting gangbanged,
See, now whenever I think of Batman in that context from Cards Against Humanity, I think of Adam West Batman. Because I think of when I see the card, it to me says Batman. Yeah.
There's one that I like. It's probably not anybody else's favorite, but it's just bees with a question mark.
Yes, bees. That was going to be another one I was going to mention. Bees.
I don't know if that was the intention, but from Arrested Development.
Today on Maury. Help! My son is bees.
Bees? You guys ever see Arrested Development?
Nope.
I haven't, and I have been meaning to, because everybody tells me I need to see it, that it's pretty
You
much right up
really
my alley as far as entertainment is
I
concerned.
don't know when it's on TV because I can't read.
You really
Yeah,
do.
well.
But there's a scene that why I find this card so funny is they're talking and one of the characters is talking about beads. Like, like beads you would wear, get at Mardi Gras. And
Jerry
the other
beads.
character just keeps thinking she's saying bees. And then like 2 episodes later, he's a fucking beekeeper because of that one scene.
You love it. You love to see the callback.
Oh, that is Arrested Development in a nutshell. It's literally like the tiniest jokes you don't pay attention to, and all of a sudden it's a whole fucking thing now.
What's the most overrated TV show?
The Office.
Fair point. A fair opinion. I disagree.
The Office is not a personality trait.
No, and it absolutely should not be. I would be willing to bet that out of every TV show intro, more people have had sex with the Office theme song in the background than any other show.
Can't say I'm guilty of that.
Well, I mean, if you hate The Office, that's fine. But in general,
I'm a virgin.
Oh, I saw a post today that said, if you think shower sex is the best, you obviously have never had sex in the shower. And then
true.
My buddy was like, or you've only had sex in the shower.
True.
It works both ways. But I'd be willing to bet that the Office theme song is like the more often the background to somebody's Netflix and chill session than any other TV show would be. Just because like it's one of those things you can throw on for most people and you don't need to pay attention to it, most of the TV shows I watch are like that. Most of the entertainment that I consume is stuff that I don't really have to pay attention to because my ADHD is rampant and unchecked.
I actually have this whole thing. I recently found out there's like this, and it's not small. It's a pretty big subreddit. It's called Futurama Sleepers. And it's a subreddit dedicated to people who fall asleep watching Futurama.
I need to join this subreddit. Dude.
There's actually 2. There's 2 different subreddits about that. And I'm just like, shit, I am that person. How is there a subreddit that niche?
Every episode of Futurama at least 10 times, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, I have watched that full series. Anytime that I've finished a series that I really liked that was like very gripping and intense and good, after that, I'm like, what do I do with my life now? And the answer is watch Futurama again.
It's a palate cleanser.
It's never failed.
And kind of tangentially related to Futurama, my recent sleep show has been Married with Children.
That's a good show.
Okay.
Yeah, the wife on Married with Children is the voice actress for Leela.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but that show it couldn't be made today. But
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that didn't age well. Like, what did I watch recently? Jackass. The Jackass movies did not age well. I will still watch them.
Coming out.
Jackass 4 is coming out, and I'm fucking losing my mind. I'm so excited. They did a Jackass episode of Shark Week this year, which ended exactly as you'd probably expect, with someone jumping over a shark with a wakeboard and then ending up being bitten by that shark.
So they literally jumped the shark by recreating the scene from Happy Days.
Yep, that was the idea.
That coined the term. Okay.
Yep, and the poor guy that got bitten by the shark, absolutely lovable dude, wears pit vipers, his name's Poopies.
Oh, Poopies. Yeah, I know who that is.
I was really, really worried for Poopies, but he's okay. All the damage that was done by the shark was reparable. He was like, I don't hold it against the shark. I was in his house. After he was bitten by the shark, the rest of the crew went back to that same spot to swim with the sharks that were still there.
Good.
For Poopies.
It wouldn't be a Jackass without that.
Yeah, of course. But Jackass, like a lot of the jokes in Jackass did not age well. And you can't say that you couldn't expect that. I can only hope that as time has passed, that Johnny Knoxville and the boys are evolving with the times in a way to say, yeah, we said some problematic shit before, but we are sensitive to that now, and we can do funny shit, because you can do funny shit like Jackass does without offending people. I think it's perfectly reasonable. I know that there are a lot of people who get, I don't want to say overly offended, because you can't control what offends you, but there are a lot of people who maybe are a little bit more sensitive than the average person to a lot of things of that nature.
Mean equals funny.
Well, yeah, and mean doesn't necessarily equal funny. And I think that Jackass has the ability to still be funny without being mean. At least not to a specific group of marginalized people.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can be funny without dropping the F-bomb. And not
even just that. I mean, like, for the sake of, like, there was a bit that they did, I want to say it was in Jackass 2. And essentially one of the guys, so they had everybody shave their pubes off, right? And they glued them to this guy's face as his beard. And that was really the prank. But the setup for the prank was that this guy was dressing up as a Middle Eastern person pretending to be a terrorist, you know? And they could have reframed that bit and it still would have been funny.
Yeah, but
because he had pubes on his face. Like, that was the funny part of the bit. You know,
no one gave a shit back then.
Well, no,
people that gave a shit.
This was what, like, I want to say like 2006 or 7 when Jackass 2 came out.
It's also like the height of, Muslim Islamophobia and
that
all
and
that post 9/11.
That was back when Daniel Tosh had, some form of relevance
to
the comedy community. What's that?
He's still not funny.
He never was.
I never caught the Tosh.0 bug. He
made a rape joke at one of his stand-up shows, and that just like solidified how much I fucking hate him.
Yeah, and I mean that's the kind of thing that was funny back in like the mid early 2000s. Dane Cook. Everybody loved Dane Cook back then, and you go back and you watch Dane Cook now, and it's just him going a whole shit ton in between noises, like sexist and homophobic jokes. Like, that's the whole thing. Or like Jeff Dunham with Ahmed the Dead Terrorist.
I still think Jeff Dunham is funny.
I mean, he was funny when I first saw him, and then after a while, like, those characters just got worn out, dude.
Yep.
But Walter's an old guy, and he does funny old guy shit, and Peanut is fucking ridiculous in every way, and Jose Jalapeno on a stick is a racist stereotype about Mexican people. Like, that's so. I actually saw there was a TV documentary like defending Jeff Dunham, like for him like explaining, the motivation behind certain jokes and why he no longer uses Ahmed and Jose the Jalapeno. But that was just like the culture for comedy. That and then Larry the Cable Guy was huge.
Get her done. He's not even Southern.
I mean, no, Larry the Cable Guy but he's still for the most part wholesome.
That's the thing.
He's not offensive.
That's why I think we haven't heard anything from Larry the Cable Guy recently.
I follow him on Facebook. He posts all the time.
Well, but we haven't seen him act in movies really, aside from whatever Cars movies have come out.
That trucker movie he was in.
We haven't seen a stand-up special from Larry the Cable Guy, and I think it's because he realizes that stereotype that his character Larry the Cable Guy represents is a problematic one. And this may be giving him more credit than it deserves, but I genuinely think like he's like, right now is not the time for me to talk about being a redneck and how, because of the political climate of the world, because the rednecks of the world follow the guy.
Who will always be
the red hat orange guy?
Fucking Gabriel Iglesias.
Never not funny.
He is
Never not
always
funny.
fun. I watch his show
He's
on
always
Netflix,
funny.
dude. He's so fucking funny. He is hilarious at everything he does.
You know who I have realized that I like a lot that I did not like initially, and I might get shit for this, but I did not like John Mulaney's stand-up initially when I first saw it.
I was gonna
don't
say
watch
John
him.
Mulaney's good.
John Mulaney is good, but it took me watching him a couple of times before I was willing to admit that I liked it, because I thought that, like, from what I had caught glimpses of, because Hannah's she really likes John Mulaney. And from what I had caught glimpses of, I was like, this fucking pencil neck asshole. Like, he was not, from, admittedly, I was getting the wrong impression of him from the bits and pieces of his stand-up that I watched. So I would like to formally and publicly apologize for my closeted opinion about John Mulaney that no one ever knew about until right now. But John Mulaney, you do good jokes, and I hope that you know that if you ever see this.
He's probably one of the funniest ones out there right now.
He's very funny. I think it wasn't until after I watched Big Mouth that I realized, like, what kind of comedy he was doing.
Oh, is he on that show?
Oh, yeah, he voices one of the main characters on Big Mouth.
Oh, okay.
Andrew on Big Mouth.
Robbie can't read, so
I think a lot of what
True.
people see with John Mulaney too is, the suit and tie. He's dressed like he's going to Sunday school or something, and you're like, oh, he's gonna be PC. He's gonna be, real prude about it. But no, he talks about,
it wasn't
like
that. It was just that I found him unrelatable from the content of his that I had seen. I was not able to relate to him at all when I first saw him do stand up. And then when I went and, I watched through an entire special of his, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, no, this guy rules. One thing about comedy that I've seen change over the last few years is that the idea, the whole, like, wife bad comedy is really starting to, like, fall by the wayside. Like, you saw it a lot with dudes like Tim Allen. Like, Tim Allen's whole spiel was being sort of misogynistic. Like, that was his whole thing. And he would do, like, the man, I mean, I got tools and my wife asked me to clean stuff. Like, that was his whole thing, And now when I see not newer comedians, but comedians who are more recently popular do jokes like that, it's like, come on, dude. Like,
yeah. I mean, you got, like, as an antithesis to it, you got John Mulaney as an example, where he talks about how much he loves his wife and how she's a badass Jewish bitch. His words, not mine. But that's what he says. And he's like, when he goes to the airport and they're like, we're rescheduling your flight, he's like, oh man. But he's got his wife, and his wife's like, why don't we go see if Southwest has any flights? And he's like, you're right. We should.
Yeah. Sure. I agree with all that. I know exactly what's going on.
All right. Well, it's not like we really need to establish for our viewer base that you're uncultured, Robbie.
True.
It's okay. We'll maybe we can watch some John Mulaney later together.
Maybe. You mean like a date?
Yeah, why not?
You gotta do
It's
the finger
2021.
thing, close. You gotta put your thumbs up when you do it. Yeah, there you go.
There's our thumbnail for the episode right there.
Yep. My fucking camera was so fucking error 70. What is this?
The face it paused you on, bro.
Turn the camera off and on. Is my camera fucked? Oh God, I'm gonna fix this. I just look at how I'm frozen. I look like I'm shit faced.
It's amazing. I love it.
It's a firmware issue. I can't wait to fix it. Okay. Well, I say on that note, we call it here.
Oh, we haven't even gotten to our Reddit question, bro. You're gonna you're gonna try and get out of the Reddit question that we didn't agree on.
Yeah, I mean, if you can pop one up, sure, but I'm fixing my camera right now.
All right, so let's see. Okay, so I think that this page refreshed while I was looking at it. Well, okay, so on the topic of The Office, which I would rather we avoid talking more about The Office, but
Please.
what is something that people turn into their whole personality?
The Office.
Okay, well, aside from that, because we've already explored that content, Robbie, we've mined that for all it's worth.
Okay, I got one.
I
Marvel movies.
True that. Or Disney in general. I mean,
Disney. If you're a Disney bitch, sorry.
My number one sign that somebody's probably not a super interesting person to hang out with is if you see a sticker on their car that says WDW annual pass holder. That's probably not somebody I generally would want to talk to. Now, I have met people who have annual passes to Disney who are perfectly awesome people. But if that's the first impression I get of your personality, it's going to be hard pressed to overcome that.
I've had a Disney annual pass.
Yeah, but that's not the first impression. Did you put the sticker on your car?
No.
Because there's a distinct difference between having the pass and telling everyone you have the pass as if it's like a card to tell everybody that you're better than they are.
That's fair.
Yeah, if Disney's your personality, I'm sorry, but you're probably annoying.
I have two.
Okay.
And they're not my personality per se, but they are things that I align with. Cars and guns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know if someone's a gun guy because they're talking about guns.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we talk about them.
There's the easy low-hanging fruit of outspoken vegans, which I feel like everybody's talked about. Like at this point, being vegan is not nearly as unique of a trait as it used to be, so I feel like the vegans of the world have kind of cooled off on how much they have to talk about being a vegan.
Hey, no.
But let's see, what is something that people turn into their whole personality?
Gluten-free people.
It's kind of, yeah.
I've been trying to eat vegan a little bit recently, and it's working. Like I eat vegan ice cream now. I use only almond milk. I use plant-based butter. It's just little things. Because I don't want to get rid of all the food that I like completely and eat only vegetables and stuff. But I had vegan tacos the other night, and they were pretty fucking good. I had like 3 of them.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, now that vegan options in food in like that are commercially available are much more available, the vegan food is just consistently continuing to get better.
It tastes delicious too.
There's going to be a point. There's going to be a point in human future where everyone has to eat vegan. Like the way that we farm animals and the way that we handle food production is not sustainable. So eventually we're going to be living on mostly vegan food. But let's see, what is something that people turn into their whole personalities? In high school, it was the ROTC guys.
Mm-hmm.
And they stayed the same. Like out of high school, when they went into the military, they stayed exactly the same for the most part. D&D, as maybe controversial as it is in this group of people, because we all know and love D&D, it has in and of itself become a personality for a lot of people, where the only thing that they ever want to talk about is D&D. PC gaming, a lot of people turn into a personality. And I would like to just note for the record that if you're interested in any of these things, that does not make you a bad person.
Unless it's The Office.
Whatever, fuck up.
And Disney.
If you're interested in these things, that's not a problem. The problem, and it's not even really a problem, it's more of a personal preference of mine in who I like to hang out with. But if your entire personality revolves around just like one thing, and it's very one-dimensional, and to me, like that's not. If every conversation somehow leads back to the legendary PS2 classic Legacy of Kain, that's not an interesting conversation to have for everyone, Another
good one is anime people.
Yeah. I mean, that's classic too, like the like otaku and weeaboo culture. Mm-hmm. I have found that there is an entire subsection of people that the Reddit community has lovingly dubbed Tea-aboos, who are weebs for England.
That's amazing.
So
I actually really like that.
Those are the Doctor Who obsessed, like, American people who drink tea at tea time because that's what they do in England, and all the TV that they watch is UK based television shows, and that's a whole new subsect of person that I didn't know existed until pretty recently, is Tea-aboos. I really, really like that term. It just hits perfect.
I mean, it's definitely better than Anglophile.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's the same thing. It means the same thing. It's somebody who is overly obsessed with England. But Tea-aboo doesn't sound as gross.
Yeah.
True.
Anything with file was kind of ruined by pedophiles.
Anglophile sounds like you're interested in fishing. Like really interested in fishing. Like, oh yeah, I'm an Anglophile. I love angling.
Wouldn't that be like a pescophile?
I think so. I think if you're going by that classic, Latin prefix suffix kind of vibe there, then that would be pescophile.
I see, when you guys were saying that, I thought of like someone who's obsessed with angles. Like, hey, that's a cute angle over there.
A geophile. No, that'd be rocks.
Yeah.
What would that be?
Anglophile.
A trigonophile?
That sounds offensive.
It does. It does. What else do we have? What kind of files? I think we're the well is running dry. I'm rambling at this point. And audio files. So that's one thing that, as an obsession, like being obsessed with audio quality, at least in some cases, for me, has not proved to be fruitful in any way, because I just don't have the money. But being an audiophile in certain ways can be very lucrative, especially in the world of music production or buying and selling of high-end stereo equipment. Like a lot of people, there's another controversial take. I love vinyl records. I've got a collection of vinyl records. I don't think it genuinely sounds better.
It doesn't.
No, unless it's older records, because the older records were pressed directly from the masters, as opposed to now where it's just MP3s put it onto a vinyl.
Yeah, and I just all right, Robbie's webcam went out again. But I just I love listening to vinyls. I love the whole concept of listening to vinyls, but I just don't really notice that big of a difference in sound. And maybe it comes from the fact that my vinyl setup is literally just like a normal stereo, like auxiliary cable plugged into my record player. But
yeah. I mean, people who like records really are it's just a different trading card game.
Oh yeah. I mean, having a collection of records is super cool. Like, I love being able to say, oh yeah, I have that on vinyl. It makes me feel cool. Speaking of feeling cool, since the last time we recorded an episode, I tried Liquid Death Water, which was a whole thing. I'm pretty sure we talked about that whole situation on the show, right?
Get them to sponsor us, and no response yet. But
I would love at this point, now that I've tried it, I would love to have them sponsor us. I have done a complete 180 on how I feel about Liquid Death Water as a concept, because the marketing of it is not my favorite. When I look at the marketing of Liquid Death Water and the way that they do their commercials and stuff, I'm like, I don't want to hang out with those guys. Those guys seem like they would annoy me. But I tried it out, and I'll tell you one thing. It's just water. It tastes like water. It tastes like good water. But you feel cooler drinking it out of that badass can. And I hate the fact that I have been marketed to in that way, where it's like, yeah, you buy this because the can looks cool. And I will fully admit that I buy it because the can looks cool.
Yeah.
Just for the record, if anybody asks or everybody watches this and needs to know this, because I didn't know this when I bought it because I didn't look hard enough. If you buy the white cans, they are flat. If you buy the black cans of Liquid Death, they are sparkling. And I didn't realize what the difference was until I opened them and tried them. And I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense. They have them in 2 different color cans. But just so you know, pro tip.
Are they sparkling or are they club water? Because there is actually a difference.
No, it is sparkling water.
Okay.
No, club soda can suck my ass.
Well then,
that's a club I don't want to be a part of.
A few clubs
what about the club sandwich club?
The club where it's like you like frilly toothpicks and 3 pieces of bread. That's a Mitch Hedberg joke. I'm pretty sure.
I love Mitch Hedberg.
Rest in peace, Mitch Hedberg.
Rest in peace to DMX. I don't know.
Rest in peace to this episode.
Yeah. Now we're dragging it on a little.
Yep. Yeah.
We're at an hour 5.
We're kicking the dead horse right now.
All right. You guys want to call it?
That's it. That's the end of the episode.
All right. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, iTunes, fucking Hulu, Netflix, YouTube, whatever the fuck.
Oh, anything to plug? Anybody have anything they want to plug right now?
No.
I will shamelessly plug.
Is
certainly.
That why you interrupted me?
Yeah, I certainly will. I've been streaming on Twitch lately, The Binding of Isaac. And if you go to twitch.tv/hamxslamwich, I stream there occasionally. I don't even have a streaming schedule.
Bleeped out.
What's that?
It'll be a shame if that's bleeped out.
Oh man.
What a shame.
I'm too fucking lazy to edit these episodes unless someone says something offensive.
Yeah, well, hopefully we don't get to that point.
Nope, that's why I'm on edge with guests.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, twitch.tv/hamxslamwich to watch me stream The Binding of Isaac. Usually I play Afterbirth Plus, which is like the older version of the game. Repentance just came out, and I haven't gotten good enough at the game to want to stream Repentance against some of the other big streamers that are out there doing it. But I've been having a great time, and I hope that you would have a great time watching the stream. That would be awesome. So
and if you go there, comment "fuck Tommy."
Yeah. If you show up from the show and you're like "fuck Tommy," I'll know exactly why you came, and I will appreciate you nonetheless.
Yep. And you'll get exclusive access to donating to him.
Yeah, I don't even have I was streaming earlier today before we started this episode, and I don't even have like my PayPal button set up on my Twitch. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I barely got OBS running with a green screen behind me, and I'm still having a great time. It's been
good. Good. Very, very good.
You can ask for.
John McCain's a guest on the next episode. So until then, bye.
Bye.